I worked the night shift at a small highway hotel in Oregon for almost 3 years. Most nights were boring, a few late check-ins, drunk travelers asking for extra towels, truck drivers buying coffee from the vending machine at 2 a.m. Nothing special. By 3 a.m., the lobby usually felt like the rest of the world had disappeared. Just the hum of the lights, the rain hitting the glass doors, and me trying not to fall asleep behind the front desk. That was before room 404. Every hotel has that one room people talk about in low voices. At ours, it was 404. It had been marked out of order for months. Officially, there was water damage, but the staff had their own version. Housekeepers said they heard someone crying in there. One maintenance guy walked in, stayed less than 5 minutes, and refused to ever go back. I thought it was just hotel gossip. I was wrong. It happened last November. Cold Tuesday night, heavy rain, around 3:15 a.m. I was finishing paperwork when the motion sensor at the entrance made its little chime. I looked up, confused. I hadn't seen any headlights outside. No car had pulled in. But there was a man standing inside the lobby. I still don't know how he got there. He was wearing a yellow raincoat, thick, old-fashioned, like something a fisherman would wear, bright yellow, and somehow, even with the storm outside, he was completely dry. No luggage, no bag, nothing. He just stood there near the entrance, staring at the floor. I gave him my usual front desk smile. "Evening, sir. Need a room?" He didn't answer, didn't move. After a few seconds, I asked again, "Do you have a reservation?" That's when he finally spoke, very quietly. "Room 404. I felt uncomfortable immediately. I checked the system anyway. "Sorry, sir. That room's unavailable. I can give you 402 or 406. I left something there. He stepped closer. That's when I smelled him. Not rain, not alcohol. Wet dirt, like fresh soil after digging. He leaned over the counter and said, "She's still waiting." Right then, the phone behind me rang. I jumped. The landline rarely rang that late. I turned and looked at the caller ID. I felt my stomach drop. "Room 404. I stared at it for a second. Then I turned back toward the lobby. The man was gone. Just gone. The doors were still shut, locked. No sound, no motion sensor. He hadn't walked out. He had just disappeared. The phone kept ringing. Ring, ring, ring. Every part of me wanted to ignore it, but I picked it up. Front desk. At first, only static. Then, a scratching sound. Slow, wet, like fingernails dragging across tile. Then a woman's voice. Very quiet. "He's back, isn't he?" I couldn't answer. She sounded terrified. Then she whispered, "Don't let him in." The line went dead. I grabbed the master key, a flashlight, and went upstairs. The elevator ride to the 4th floor felt way too long. When the doors opened, the hallway was silent. The kind of silence where even your own breathing feels too loud. Room 404 was at the very end. The out-of-order sign was hanging on the handle. I swiped the master key. Green light. The door opened. The room was freezing, like a walk-in freezer. The furniture was covered in plastic sheets. Dust everywhere. I moved my flashlight toward the bed and stopped. Someone had torn the plastic covering open, and sitting on the edge of the mattress was the yellow raincoat. Only now, it was soaking wet. Water was dripping onto the carpet, a dark puddle underneath it. Next to it was a silver wedding ring and an old hotel keycard. The date on it said, November 12th, 1998. I remembered what an old employee told me. Years ago, a woman had disappeared from that room. She checked in with her husband during a storm. Only he checked out. He told police she left during the night. They never found her. No body, no proof. Then I heard it. From the bathroom, the sound of a shower curtain sliding open. Slow, loud screech, then water dripping. Then footsteps, bare feet. Wet footsteps coming toward me. I turned my flashlight toward the bathroom. The door was half open. Something moved inside, tall, still, watching me. Then I heard a voice, right next to my ear. A man's voice, low and calm. "You shouldn't have come back." I ran. I dropped the flashlight and ran. Took the stairs so fast I nearly fell, the whole way down. I could hear footsteps behind me, slow, wet, following. I locked myself behind the front desk and pulled up the security cameras. I checked the lobby footage first, 3:15 a.m. There I was, standing behind the desk, talking, pausing, looking nervous. But there was no man, no yellow raincoat. The doors never opened. I had been talking to empty space. Then I checked the fourth floor camera. I watched myself run out of room 404. A few seconds later, the door opened slowly. A pale gray hand reached out. It grabbed the out of order sign and pulled it inside. And just before the door closed, I saw her, a woman standing inside, barefoot, wet hair over her face, looking terrified, and behind her, the man in the yellow raincoat, just standing there, smiling. The screen turned to static. I quit the next morning. About a week later, I called an old employee. He told me that after his wife disappeared, the husband came back 3 different times. Every time, he asked for room 404. The 3rd time, he walked into the woods during a storm and never came back. 2 weeks later, they found his yellow raincoat hanging from a tree. Empty, no body, just the coat. After that, management permanently sealed room 404. They changed the door, changed the carpet, even changed the room number. But sometimes, during heavy rain, the front desk still gets a phone call from a room that no longer exists. And even now, if my phone rings after 3 a.m., I always check the caller ID first. People think national parks are safe. They see the signs, the maps, the smiling rangers in green uniforms, and they think nothing truly bad can happen out there. They're wrong. I've worked as a park ranger for almost 6 years, and I can tell you this. The forest does not care about you. Out there, people vanish. Sometimes they get lost. Sometimes they fall, and sometimes they follow something they should have run from. There's one trail in particular I still dream about. Trail Marker 17. If you ever visit Black Pine National Park and someone tells you not to go past Marker 17, listen to them. Because 3 people disappeared there in one summer, and I'm the reason we found out why. It started in late June. A couple from Oregon came for a weekend hiking trip, normal tourists. I told them the North Ridge Trail was beautiful. I did not mention Trail 17. 2 days later, the couple never came back. Their car was still parked at the trailhead. Search teams went in immediately. No blood, no signs of struggle, just their backpack sitting beside Trail Marker 17. Zipped shut like someone had placed it there carefully. Inside was their camera. The last photo made my stomach turn. It was taken at dusk. The woman was standing on the trail, smiling nervously at the camera. And behind her, between the trees, was another figure, tall, thin, standing half-hidden in the shadows. When we zoomed in, we saw it. It had her face, same clothes, same smile, just standing there, watching. A month later, a teenage boy disappeared near the same marker. His friends said he had walked ahead because he heard his little sister crying in the woods. The problem was his sister was at home, 3 states away. That was the first time I started taking the story seriously. Ranger Collins told me, "If you hear someone calling your name out there, no matter who it sounds like, you keep walking." In August, I got assigned night patrol, Trail 17. The sun was low when I reached marker 17. It was nearly dark. The wooden post stood crooked beside the trail. Someone had scratched words into it. "Don't answer." Then I heard it. "Jake," my sister's voice, soft, behind me. My sister lived in Chicago. She had never even visited this park. Slowly, I turned. No one there, just trees. Then again, closer. "Jake, help me." Same voice, same tone, like she was hurt. I grabbed my radio, but all I got was static. The voice came again, this time from deeper in the woods, crying, "Please." I remembered Collins. "If you hear your name, keep walking." I backed up. The crying stopped instantly. Silence, then branches cracking. Something was moving between the trees, fast, circling. I turned my flashlight toward it. For 1 second I saw her. A little girl, my little sister. Same yellow raincoat she wore as a kid. Same face. But the smile, it was too wide, too still. Her eyes didn't blink. She tilted her head and said, in my sister's voice, "You always came when I called." Then she vanished. I ran. I could hear footsteps matching mine, not chasing, following, calm, patient. Then I heard my own voice behind me. "Jake, stop running." It sounded exactly like me. Same breath, same panic. "Please," it said. "I'm still back there." I didn't look. I kept running until I saw the ranger station lights. The footsteps stopped right at the edge of the forest. I turned once. Something was standing beside marker 17. Too far to see clearly, but I could feel it smiling. Trail 17 is still there, officially open, but we tell people to stay away, especially after sunset. The forest learns your voice, and once it does, it starts calling you back. Have you ever been on a family vacation and realized halfway through the drive that the road you're on isn't on the map? In December 2016, the Miller family headed into the heart of the Colorado Rockies for a Christmas getaway. They were looking for a cozy cabin and a fresh start. What they found was a place that shouldn't exist. A place where silence doesn't just mean a lack of noise. It means something is listening. If you're watching this alone tonight, do me a favor. Check the locks on your doors, because after this story, the darkness outside your window might start looking a little too familiar. Mark and Linda Miller were typical Chicagoans. They needed a break from the city, so they packed their SUV and took their 2 kids, 10-year-old Leo and 6-year-old Molly, towards Estes Park, Colorado. The scenery was breathtaking. Massive peaks draped in white, jagged pines standing like frozen soldiers. But as they climbed higher, the GPS started to glitch. The blue line flickered, then vanished completely. Mark frowned. "That's weird." He kept driving. Then they saw it. A hand-painted wooden sign pointing toward a narrow, unplowed trail. Silent trail. "It's a shortcut," Mark said. Linda's voice tightened. "Mark, the map says there's nothing out here for 40 miles. Google doesn't know everything. Look at that view. But as they turned onto the trail, something changed. The birds stopped. The wind died. Even the sound of the engine felt muted, like they were driving through a room lined with thick velvet. Then they saw it. At the end of the trail stood a massive log cabin, but it wasn't warm or inviting. The wood was stained a deep, unsettling crimson, like dried blood. From the moment they stepped inside, Molly changed. She didn't play, she didn't talk. She just sat in the corner, whispering to the shadows. Linda knelt beside her. "Molly, who are you talking to?" Molly slowly raised her hand and pointed to the darkness under the stairs. "The boy," she whispered. "He says his face is on the wrong side of his head, and we need to leave before the quiet catches us." Linda forced a smile, but her hands were shaking. That night, at exactly 3:14 a.m., Mark woke up. Crunch, crunch, footsteps, outside. He looked through the window. A man stood in the snow, wearing nothing but a thin white shirt. No shoes, no jacket. Mark grabbed a flashlight and stepped onto the porch. "Hey, do you need help?" The man didn't move. Mark raised the light. The snow beneath the man's feet was perfectly smooth. No footprints. Then, the man moved, slowly. His body turned, but his head didn't. And when his back faced Mark, the truth hit him. The man's face was on the back of his neck, eyes wide, unblinking, staring straight at him. Mark slammed the door and locked it. He didn't sleep again. Morning came, but nothing felt normal. They tried to leave. The SUV wouldn't move, not because of ice, but because thick black roots had wrapped around the tires, as if the earth itself was holding them there. Then Leo screamed. Mark and Linda ran into the kitchen and froze. The walls were covered in old photographs. Dozens, hundreds, all of them. The Miller family, but dressed in 1800s clothing, and every face had the eyes scratched out. "We're leaving now," Mark said. The house groaned. A heavy pounding began above them. Footsteps running across the roof. Then the lights died. Silence. A deep, suffocating silence. "Molly?" Linda called. No answer. She was gone. Linda found a small crawl-space door under the stairs. Inside was a pile of objects. Rusty watches, children's shoes, lockets. She picked one up. Her heart stopped. It was Molly's, but old, decayed, like it had been there for decades. Then a voice came from the darkness. "Molly, no." Something else, layered with hundreds of voices. "You came to our place. In the quiet, time stays. But the meat rots." Mark grabbed an axe and swung at the door. The wood didn't break. It bled. Dark liquid oozed from the cracks. "Mark, look." Molly stood at the top of the stairs. Her eyes were gone. In their place, two glowing white voids. She smiled. "Go, Daddy." Her voice wasn't a child's anymore. "I have to stay, so you can leave." Mark ran toward her, but before he reached the top, she turned to ash. A gramophone crackled to life. "Welcome home, welcome home, welcome home." Mark didn't think. He grabbed a chair and smashed the window. They jumped, hit the snow hard, and ran. They didn't stop, not once, until they reached the highway. A truck pulled over. "Please," Linda cried, "get us away from that cabin." The driver frowned. "What cabin?" "The red one, the silent trail." The driver went pale. "That trail's been gone since 1920. Landslide took it. There's nothing out there, just forest and ghosts." They made it back to Chicago, but something came back with them. Linda avoids mirrors. because sometimes she sees him, standing behind her, head turned the wrong way, watching. A month later, Mark checked his phone. Most photos were corrupted, but one remained, a selfie, Mark and Linda smiling in the snow. But Molly wasn't there. Instead, a long black hand reached up from the ground, gripping Mark's coat. Molly is still with them. She eats, she talks, she says, "I love you." But at night, she doesn't breathe, and she hasn't blinked in 3 weeks. So if you ever see a shortcut that isn't on your map, keep driving. Some places don't want visitors, they want residents. What do you think? Glitch in time, or something much worse? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe for more stories like this. Sweet dreams, if you can.